Shel from Paper Rock TO Studio, and today I'm sharing with you some artist trading cards that I made for the winners of the ATC challenge over at the Pick-a-Stick Challenge group. For those of you who've been following along, Pick-a-Stick Challenge is where we issue 10 prompts to make an art journal page. So we are starting to give away some ATCs to people who do the challenge and post it in the Facebook group, as well as doing the ATC challenge. So there's 3 prompts for the ATCs because they're much smaller than art journal pages. The first prompt was to use ink. Well, that could be any kind of ink. That could be, stamping ink, or it could be India ink, or it could be whatever. But I chose to use the Distress inks, and I have all these little teeny tiny sized ones because I couldn't decide what colors I wanted. So I started out with 3 colors, and I believe they're mustard seed, marigold, spiced marigold or something like that, and peacock feathers. And then I put them on my craft sheet and watered them down, and then started to pick up the color with my artist trading cards. These are 2.5 by 3.5 inches, and these are made out of 140-pound cold pressed watercolor paper. So they should be soaking up the ink into the paper. That's the concept behind watercolor paper, but I'm not getting the intensity that I want, so I keep adding more of particularly that peacock feathers, because it's just turning too light. So I keep putting it on, and I keep adding more water and drying it. So once those were all dried, I decided I wanted to add pink as well. So I think this one's, man, I don't know what the colors are. I'll leave all the colors for all the materials and everything that I use on these cards in the description below in case you need them. Lipstick, maybe worn lipstick, I don't know. Anyway, pink, it's pink, and so I added that just at the bottom, and then I dried those. So now I'm happy with my backgrounds. I'm going to kind of seal them in. Distressed inks are very water reactive. You get it wet, man, it just mushes all over. Even if it's been dried for 20 years, it'll still run. So I'm putting clear gesso over them with my soft rubber brayer in an attempt to kind of keep the ink where it's supposed to stay. Step 2 was to add tissue tape or masking tape. I'm using washi tape. That's the same thing as tissue tape. I'm not sure where we got those prompts. Tissue tape? It used to be called that, I guess, but now it's called washi tape. Anyway, it's that decorative rice paper tape, and I have different types of it. Some of it's more plasticky than others. It's all from different brands. So I picked 3 that I liked, and then I'm starting out with the fattest one, and I'm cutting a little banner or flag shape at the end, like a little V, and then just layering them on over each other. So I've got a fatter one, a thinner one, and then a thinnest one. Just kind of making them look like little flags that are hanging down, or banners. Then to delineate between them, I am using my fine tip Posca pen in black to just outline where the flags are, or banners, or whatever you want to call them. Then I'm taking my wider Posca pen, which is the medium bullet, and just making a border around the whole card. A little tip, you see me cleaning off my ruler each time. That's because you could really make a smeary mess if you don't do that, because it stays on the ruler, and then the next time you put it on the card, it goes, and then you have black all over, and you're like, ah! So I didn't make you watch all of that. That was the thing that took the longest, was all the pen work. Next step is to use something transparent. Now you could use anything transparent: tissue paper, napkins, plastic packaging, acetate, whatever you want. But I decided to use vellum. I had a vellum scrap. So I cut the vellum into smaller pieces, as I think 1.5 by 2 inches rectangle. And now I've got out my Bombay India ink, and I'm painting on little hearts onto the vellum using a paintbrush and blending the colors together, starting with yellow, then using a little bit of orange, and then some pink on the other side, and kind of just making a brightly colored mottled looking heart. And then of course, drying them. The first one I dried, and then the other three I just painted them and then dried them after. I just wanted to see what it would look like. So this vellum is pretty heavyweight. There's a lot of different weights of vellum, just like every other type of paper. And they do curl when they get wet, which I was having trouble with them curling. Silly things. But I was able to straighten it out in the end. So these 4 ATCs will be going to the winners of our drawing. The way that you win is to do your journal page for July and post it in the group. And then one lucky winner who has done both the Pick-a-Stick challenge and the Artist Trading Card challenge that you're seeing me do right now will win a bonus package. So they'll get the ATC plus something else from me. So we'll be doing this every month, and it's just an added little fun thing to do in our group. The group is getting very large. It's over 500 people now, and we're seeing lots and lots of art. So if you haven't joined, you should come over and join, and I'll be sure to put the link below so that you can get to it. A lot of fun being had over there at the Pick-a-Stick Challenge. So now I'm just taking my fine tip Posca and making very sketchy black lines around the hearts. And then I'm trying different tapes. First I try this tape to put down the vellum. One thing that I never liked about vellum was that everything that you try to stick it down with is you see it because it's transparent. You see the tape, but it wasn't too bad. And I ended up just kind of, well, then I used glue dots, which you can still see them, but they're not as obtrusive because they're smaller. And I just put them, first I put them in 2 corners, then I went back and put them in 4 corners. But it's all good. It works out in the end. The only glue I ever found that really worked was the Tombow Mono Adhesive 2-way glue, because you could put the glue on, let it dry, and then it's still sticky, like a Post-it note, but it doesn't stay stuck as well as like some of these other tapes. So I could have used mini brads or something like that, but I was just too lazy. So what I did to camouflage the glue is to just make real scratchy, sketchy white lines with my fine tip white Posca around the squares, and you don't even see the glue at that point because your eye is distracted by the squares, which add a design element to the cards anyway. So I thought it looked pretty good. Then I'm taking some titanium white high flow acrylic and doing splatters because I just like splatters. And I'm being very stingy with it, and I keep having to get more out. But you don't have to dilute this with water because it's just really intensely white and nice. And then to finish them off, I got out some glitter glue and put glitter glue on the hearts. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, comment, share, all those things, because that really helps my channel. And that's it for me. Thanks. Bye-bye.